All right. Well, I had to boomer it a couple of times right at the beginning to let everybody know it was truly me. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, and welcome to the other side of midnight. With luck, we can actually get through an entire program without me boomering it for a third friggin' time. Already in the comments section, we have the bird woman of YouTube herself, Connie Cleary. The toxic gunslinger, Jedi Bill. Some guy named Last Call with Troy Pacelli.
You got to watch out for that guy.
Yeah, he might be a bit of a
kind of a
creeper.
derelict, I hear.
Keep an eye on him. Yeah,
sitting at the end of the bar there. Yeah.
Netters Network, host of Thursday Things. All right, and of course, you see the panel. We have Sin's Corner.
Nope.
Last Call, Troy Pacelli, and of course with him, Netters Network.
Hello, hello.
Hope you all are having a good night. And, okay. Well, yeah, technically for us morning. Yeah. It's kind of a weird show. It is night and also morning. Okay. Now, I mentioned this on another broadcast that the other side of midnight is at least in part inspired by Coast to Coast and Art Bell. And I used to stay up late at night and listen to his show because I was an insomniac. And you could have hit me over the head with a piano and you wouldn't be able to get me to sleep. So I would stay up and listen to his show. And it's also partially inspired by our friend Culture Casino has Late Night Casino, which I know is probably on right now. But anyway, could be anywhere else, but you're here. So we're going to give you a show. And tonight was the Golden Globe Awards. And it seems, I've been told by Troy, a little bit of controversy that's being ginned up by a certain YouTuber. And we're going to get to that. But first,
wait to hear this.
Indeed. But while we are here, since we have Sin, who is an accredited, or at least soon to be accredited,
I am actually an accredited.
You are.
Yes, I am now officially a critic with the Georgia Film Critics Association. Mm-hmm. If that's where you were going, if that's what you were starting to say.
I was. Yeah, I was.
Okay.
No, that's good. You explain it so much better than I do. This is you're the fancy pants who gets all the screeners, and I'm just the guy who has to get up and actually go to these places. But no.
I still do that.
You do. In fact, going to be doing that tomorrow.
Yep.
We have another mystery movie night at the Regal, and the consensus of the people who are guessing seem to think that the movie is going to be Argyle.
Is there a consensus? I'm seeing people say Origin or something. Is that or the
Origin? Origin is possible.
And then some people are like, "Oh, but the time says," and then they list the show time, the amount of time. I'm like, you cannot ever trust that. They always lie. That doesn't tell you anything. I hope it's Argyle. That's what I would love it to be. But I'm gonna try not to be too excited. Because if I go in there expecting it, then I'm going to be disappointed. I'll just take whatever and hope it's good.
Yeah, me too. Well, anyway, when we both get back, tentatively around 10 o'clock, we will bring you a review of whatever the movie might be, whether it's Argyle or something completely different. We will bring it to you. And
someone got on my case on my channel for how long we went on last week's stream.
Really?
Yeah. They were like sniping at me. 47 minutes? This didn't even deserve 5 minutes or something like that. They got on my case. It's like,
well,
dude, it's conversation. Things go longer than you expect sometimes when you're having conversation.
It does. And we had issues with that movie, but we also had some positive points
pros,
on it as well.
Exactly.
So, we just point by point went through them. You gave your opinions, I gave my opinions.
And also people we were interacting with the audience too. So
we were.
whatever.
Yeah. So, hey, it's just.
Hey, Lady V.
Oh, hello, Lady V. My stalker is in the house. Hello. All right. Well, as I said, the Golden Globes were tonight. None of us watched them. Troy was live. I was watching his show, and Boomer's Geeky Geezers, and Sin was working. And thank you once again for taking the time out for coming in and
Sure.
doing the show.
Yeah, always a pleasure. If I'm able to make it work, I will try.
All right. Well, I got the Golden Globe Twitter feed, so I was getting updates throughout the evening, and I'm going to scroll back through there real quick so that we can go through the winners and
There's one win that I'm a little agitated about that I heard of, which
okay.
we'll go over, I'm sure. I disagree with the voters on that.
Okay. Let me live television, folks. I was not on the page. All right. All right. Well, the first winner of the night is for supporting actress in a motion picture, Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers.
The Holdovers. I want to see that movie. I've heard it's really good.
That's what I've heard. It can currently be seen on Peacock. It had a fairly brief theatrical run before it hit streaming.
It wasn't very long. By the time I was able to go, if it had been in it was gone. So, by the time my schedule opened up, it was gone, and that was a real bummer because I did want to see it.
And hello, Jason Fox from 540 Studio. Thank you for being here.
Hey, welcome, Jason.
Yes.
Gosh, what time is it where you are? What?
Yeah.
It's probably the sun coming up now, isn't it?
Gotta be. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been on with Jason. We gotta hook up again and nail down a time where I can come on. All right. And Bill saying must not have been exciting if you're saying well, it's not so much that it wasn't exciting, it's just that it's a movie we haven't seen yet, as it seems. Troy, The Holdovers, you said you had not seen it either, correct?
No.
Okay. Now, I pay attention to the critics groups and kind of gives me an idea of, because it seems to be the critics groups always tend to get these things right pretty early on. And Divine Joy Randolph, who I understand was also in Dolomite Is My Name with Eddie Murphy a year or two back.
Okay.
She's pretty much been cleaning up in this category. And she's definitely a shoo-in for an Oscar nomination now. And I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up going all the way and winning, based on what I've been hearing about the performance. But The Holdovers, definitely one we got to sit down and see.
So you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to compare what the Golden Globes did with what the Georgia Critics Group did. So this is Best Supporting Actress. Okay, she also took it for Best Supporting Actress with the Georgia Film Critics.
So. Okay. All right. Well, moving on to supporting actor, and not a surprise, Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer.
Okay. Yes, he also won with Georgia too.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just really curious to see how close this matches. Because sometimes it feels like there is this consensus. Like when the Georgia Film Critics sent out the ballot, they urged us to not necessarily be kind of, I'm paraphrasing, but it was basically, don't be bandwagony. Please, try to think outside the box. Don't vote for something just because you think all these other groups are going to vote for someone. So I appreciated that, but it does seem like so far they're lining up pretty much.
Now, one fan of... Go ahead, Troy.
I was going to say, the one thing I want to say regarding Robert Downey Jr., not having seen these movies, again, I don't know. But I know his body of work, he's an excellent actor. You look at his overall career, and, he had a rough patch there, really reinvented himself. A lot of people feel that it was Marvel that, really put him back on the path or whatever. But honestly, he has completely outgrown that. And so I see him winning awards like this and, getting nominations and some of these other films that he's been in. And it's like, you hear them talking about bringing him back again for Marvel, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think Disney's got the money to afford him anymore.
He doesn't need him.
He does not.
And he proved that with this film. He, as familiar of a face as he is through doing movies like Marvel, being really around, he was a child actor. He started out in his father's films.
Yeah.
And so he's been around. He's been doing this forever. And
let's face it, we know him from the Brat Pack era, right? I mean,
so that's when I first remember him. Yeah, from.
And he disappears into this character. You're not looking at Robert Downey Jr. anymore. You're dealing with Louis Strauss. And he's a pretty formidable guy. And it's a great performance. I'm glad he won. He's a shoo-in for a nomination. I'm curious if he goes all the way. And hello to Danny Miranda. Right now we're discussing the Golden Globes, and we're going to get into some other topics later on. Like I said, there was a fan of the holdovers that we have in the chat, and that's Jedi Bill, who has seen the film and did like it. So. Right.
Hi, Daniel. We're just talking about the Golden Globe winners right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if you were specifically referring to the previous comment about the holdovers, can we go back to that for just a second, if you don't mind? The holdovers, sure. I haven't seen it, but I know what it's basically about. This Paul Giamatti playing a teacher, and so forth. It sounds like it's got the potential for being like a Good Will Hunting type of movie.
It does come off that way to me. Yeah.
But yeah, if you haven't seen it, who knows? But yeah.
Hopefully this week.
I'll probably get around to seeing it. Sure.
Right.
See, I was right. It's 6:20 in the morning over there.
6:20.
Okay, yeah. I was pretty close. Yeah.
All right. Moving on to this category, which was in the television section. And Best Actress in a limited series, anthology series, or television motion picture was Ali Wong for Beef. Have either of you seen
that
series?
No. I've never heard of that.
What
What
station it's on, or what channel, or whatever they call it?
I think it's a streaming series. I don't remember if it's like Hulu or Amazon or one of those.
Well, that's great. So, in other words, just a small portion of people that subscribe to that channel will have seen it. So,
my understanding is it's these two characters, and Steven Yeun is the other character. And spoiler alert, he also won.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Glenn from Walking Dead.
Okay. I like that kid. Yeah.
And they get into like a road rage incident that kind of spirals somewhat out of control. It kind of escalates.
Oh, okay.
And then when a third party, I guess, intervenes, they team up and go after this third party person. So
interesting.
It's kind of something like that. I haven't seen the whole thing myself. My understanding was it was pretty good. As far as the reviews I had heard for it, so might be one to put on the watch list.
Okay.
All right. Moving on, and as I said, Steven Yeun also won for the same series, which is good. He's a good actor, and he seems like a decent guy too. So I'm glad he's getting some recognition.
And he got recognition. Beyond The Walking Dead, for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He got nominated for an Oscar a few years back for a movie called Minari.
I don't know that one.
Which I still have not seen either, but I heard some good things about it. And he was in a movie called Burning, which was a Korean language film, where he plays the villain.
Oh,
and I'd heard
that
some.
would be so weird to see him play
good
the
things.
villain.
Which I'd heard some good things about that as well. So.
Sin brought up a great point, and this was something I was talking about. I think it was last night during Netter's rewatch of Cube. This you get used to seeing someone as the good guy or the protagonist or a favorite character, but I think actors really like to be able to have the opportunity to break out of that mold, play something different, and sometimes, and I think you find a lot of actors often say this, I like playing a villain. It's fun. And you can really chew the scenery when you're playing a villain. And I think it gives your audience an opportunity to see your range. Okay, I've liked you as the good guy. Wow, I hate you as the bad guy.
Yeah.
So that gives you the freedom. You should be able to play anything in between, right?
Yeah, can definitely showcase their range.
Daniel says, haven't been keeping up with movies like I used to 10 plus years ago, so I'm clueless. You're kind of where I was, like around between 2016 and 18. I wasn't really watching a whole lot at that point in time either, and I've been playing a little bit of catch up. Lady V asking, you like foreign language films? I do. I kind of grew up on them, especially because very, very early on in my life, my father exposed me to like Japanese samurai films, Kurosawa, and then from there, I started watching like the French New Wave type stuff, and Melville and and whatnot. Who's Godard and So I kind of went from there. I don't mind the subtitles. As long as it's a good movie. I'm for it.
Yeah.
Jason in the chat is saying
English films.
Yeah. Jason is saying he's seen Beef. It was okay. Not the worst.
Okay, good.
Okay,
good.
Cool. And he says it's on Netflix. Okay.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
I knew it was on. I knew it was on one of those. I just couldn't remember
cool.
right off which ones. Okay. Moving on. Supporting actress in the television series Elizabeth Debicki in The Crown. Has anybody been watching The Crown?
No,
Not at all.
no.
Not at all. Okay. I haven't either. Obviously, it's the history of the British royal family. I don't know who her character is in it or how she fits in, but good actress. I liked her in Tenet. I know a lot of people didn't like that movie,
Oh,
but I liked it.
wait. Oh, this girl. Wait a second.
Yeah.
No, she's not who I thought she was. Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of Tenet, Sin, have you seen Tenet?
I couldn't make it through it, y'all. I struggled with the first 30 minutes and then just decided I did not have the brain power to suffer through the rest.
What
So
would you say it
never
is
went back.
about that you struggled with?
It was just too hard to follow and comprehend what the hell was going on. So,
Am I correct? This is a non-linear film.
yeah, from what I understand, yeah.
Okay.
And it's just the way, and so I gave up on that, and I was already kind of agitated at Christopher Nolan at the way he did Dunkirk. I did not like how he did Dunkirk.
Oh, we got to talk about that then.
I did not like that non-linear. It was just very fragmented, and I just didn't like the back and forth with the different. Especially because it took almost half the movie for me to figure out that's what was going on.
It's interesting you say that because I had a couple problems with Dunkirk, and they're completely different problems.
Oh yeah, well, that was my main issue, and then Tenet, and I was just like, I can't. And then I watched Oppenheimer, and I was pretty much pissed like the first hour to hour and a half at the way he was telling that. I did not like the way he structured Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
And I was getting really aggravated at him, and I was like, well, he is really getting pretentious with his story.
The reason I ask you that, Sin, well, because I have the opportunity to ask you, and I really, really, really respect your opinion on films.
Oh dear, don't do that.
Well, I'm sorry, I do.
It's
It's too
all
late.
subjective, as you know.
It is, but you know, I like how you think. I like how, your analysis of films. So so you've become one of the ones that I do rely on for things like this. I've had a lot of people that know me recommend Tenet to me specifically because of its subject matter, and I just haven't gotten around to it. So it's like, yeah. How much should I prioritize it? And I'm trying to work it in there.
I think a lot of people were really excited because it was one of the first big screen things to come back after, when theaters started to open.
True.
And I thought about going to see it, but for whatever reason, I didn't. Not because I didn't want to go to the theater, because I started going back to the theaters right away as soon as they opened.
Right.
But for whatever reason, I didn't. And I started watching it at home. And the way it was, like in the beginning, the opening scene, that was good. And then as the story progresses, I'm just like, I am so lost. What is going on?
I don't mind that per se. I don't, especially if it's a film that by the time I get to the end of it, I'm like, okay, I got to rewatch this movie, But I maybe the fact that I have waited this long will be to my benefit, so that
Could be.
I won't have that, oh gosh, I'm so glad to see a movie again kind of feel to
Yeah,
it,
and you'll be prepared for the fact that you got to have some brain power to watch this thing. Maybe it was just
Maybe
I chose
then I'm
too
screwed.
late at night. Too late. Well, I mean, I started watching it late at night, and I don't know. I've heard it's hard to follow all the way through. Some people and then some people love it and think it's just the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And multiple rewatches maybe, open up more things to them that they didn't notice before. But quite frankly, I just don't have the time or the patience to suffer through something that's agitating me.
Then be
that
careful
much.
if you ever see Primer.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched Primer.
Mm.
I've heard about it.
If you ever do, I would
I'm looking
love
forward
to
to
have you on my channel. Maybe I do a watch party of it on my channel, and you come watch
Is
it.
it
Maybe,
confusing? Is it going to piss me off? Because it's
Probably
confusing?
not. I mean, if you
okay.
want to think real hard about it, yeah, it could start to make you pull your hair out. But the basic storyline is linear enough. You'll understand
Okay.
basically what's going on.
Okay. All right.
I want to say hello to Connie Cleary, who has joined us.
Yes.
Hello, Connie.
Hello.
Hello.
Good to
Hello.
virtually see you, Connie.
Likewise, good sir.
Did you get to see the what's it called, Golden Globes?
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay. Well, no worries, because we're going over the winners here. We're going to move on to the next category, and again, it's a television category. Supporting actor in the television series Matthew McFadden for Succession. Has anybody been watching Succession?
Nope.
I don't know.
Nope.
I haven't even heard about it. What's the premise?
It's an HBO series. You have it's
Is this a
kind of like
political film or political
Uh,
show?
it's kind of more like a business show. It's like
Okay.
a King Lear, where you got like you have the three children who think that the father is going to step down and name one of them as
Oh.
yeah, and
Okay, so I see.
he
the
does
King
it. He
Lear,
basically
yeah.
says, "Screw all of you, I'm going to stay," and it becomes like this kind of family drama in the background.
Interesting.
Very
Okay.
very critically acclaimed. It was in its final season, so they're going to they're going to kind of throw all the awards at it that they didn't have the chance to do earlier.
Sure.
I've heard a lot of good things. Like I said, HBO series. Haven't seen it. Brian Cox is in it. Recognizable cast. So, okay. Connie, have you ever seen Succession?
Never heard of it.
Oh, see. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right. Well, that's the thing, is that HBO doesn't reach the number of people that it used to.
Yeah.
And I think
this
part
is-
of that is because there's so much to choose from, because you have so many streaming channels now.
And this is what I've been saying about, all the streaming channels. They are, it was true back when it was just HBO, Showtime, and whatnot, but it has gotten so much worse because there are so many streaming channels with so many shows. You as an average viewer cannot afford to watch, to subscribe to all these channels, so you're not going to see all of these shows. Oh, I watched True Blood for like the first 2-3 seasons and then noped out. It drifted so far away from the book series, I was like, I'm done. I basically did the same thing I did with The Walking Dead. It's like,
Yeah.
why do you make a show where the first season you adapt the first book and then you just go do your own thing? It's like,
It's annoying. It's aggravating.
All right. Well, we're going to move on to Best Actor in a Musical Comedy Series, Jeremy Allen White for The Bear. And
I have only
this-
just heard of The Bear.
mhm.
I don't know what it's about.
It's an FX and Hulu series, and it's about a guy opening his own restaurant,
Okay.
and everything that's kind of going on in his life as he's trying to do so. I think they're 2 or 3 seasons in now. I've heard a lot of good things.
where does the bear come in?
I think that's I think that's like his character's nickname or something.
Okay.
Now he's also in Iron Claw, where he plays one of the Von Erichs.
Oh, okay.
So his name is kind of getting bandied about here, as maybe even being possibly an Oscar nominee for that film. So who knows? All right, let's go ahead and move on, and here's a familiar face to the Golden Globes. Ricky
Ah,
Gervais,
He
yeah.
won, yes,
former
and,
host.
and he didn't even show up to accept it.
I
Oh,
did
nice.
see that he was trending on Twitter, and I wondered
yeah, I
why.
saw that too, and I clicked on it, and then
I
that's
just
when I found
assumed
out.
that it was all just people saying, he was right back in 2020. Everything he said.
Well, some people were saying stuff like
Yeah.
that. That's funny.
All right. Well, he won for his stand-up show Armageddon, which I believe was HBO as well. I think, or maybe Netflix, one of those. But yeah, I think it's fun to see him win after he spent so much time raking them over the coals.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. And then not showing up. That's just like
Yeah.
That's
that's
the
just
best.
yes.
He's so funny.
He has no F's to give. He really
Uh-uh.
doesn't.
Nope.
Ricky,
He actually
yeah.
made it fun to watch.
He's such a legend. True.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he says, I don't know half the popular shows, The Boys, Yellowstone, Rings of Power, all of that. Trying to binge Marvel shows on
Disney
Disney
okay,
Plus, bootleg websites.
Yeah.
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 Oh,
I don't
speaking of
blame you.
Marvel, you guys, Echo is coming out in a couple days. I have some things to say about that show. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, apparently so did the Golden Globes.
Nah,
We'll
that's
get to
fine.
that.
They did? What
No,
did
they
say?
did not.
Oh, they did.
That's
not.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh. All right. So moving on to next category. Best foreign language film went to Anatomy of a Fall.
Okay, this is interesting. With Georgia, it went to Godzilla.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Sin, refresh my memory. Have you reviewed Anatomy of a Fall yet? Or
I have. Yes, I did.
okay, what were your thoughts?
I liked it. I wasn't super in love with it, but I did enjoy it. It's very dialogue heavy. It's a split between English and
French.
was it French? Yeah, I
Mhm.
guess it was French. And it's a courtroom. It's like this courtroom sort of drama / mystery, and I guess maybe some people might not be crazy about the way it ended. I was okay with it. The acting was really good. The child actor was really, really good. And it was just a quiet, like there wasn't any, I don't remember that they played much music or score so it was just like it was an interesting experience. It was different. So if you like courtroom stuff, I think you'd probably like it.
Yeah, it's one I've been trying to. It didn't play in theaters where I lived at all, or not that I saw it.
I had to.
Kind of came and went in theaters.
Yeah, it wasn't here long, but I wanted to see it on the big screen, and I remember going to see it shortly before I was leaving to go to go out of town. I just can't remember when. I don't remember what trip it was, and I wanted to see it and do a review before I left. So I think that was the only place it was playing, like at the Alamo Draft House in my area.
I think it's got a pretty good chance at winning this category at the Oscars as well. So
Yeah,
it's definitely going to be a nominee.
Yep.
The lead actress is a possibility, Sandra Hüller, and she's in another movie that's been critically acclaimed as well, The Zone of Interest.
Right.
So
I have that screener. I just haven't watched it yet.
I've heard that's a pretty intense.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Film.
Sometimes
Yeah.
I have to psych myself up for some of these films, because some of them are so heavy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to move on. Next category. The best actress in a musical comedy TV series. And excuse me if I massacre her name. Ayo Edebiri, and she is also in The Bear.
Okay, yeah.
So since we've established it. None of us have seen that yet. I'm curious because of the subject matter, so it's one that I'm going to seek that out. So all right, congratulations. Moving on. Best actor in a drama series. Kieran Culkin won for Succession.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Going to move on. Best animated film. The Boy and the Heron.
Yeah, The Boy and the Heron.
There
that
you
was
go.
A surprise. I guess I shouldn't say I'm surprised. Everybody seems to adore his work in Studio Ghibli. I am not the hugest fan. I don't hate it, but I'm not as enamored with it as a lot of people. I was expecting Spider-Man would take it.
A lot of people thought that. I
Yeah.
know that Boomer was hoping for Super Mario Brothers, but look, you know it. You look at the ones that definitely didn't win. Wish, Elemental. You know.
I heard those weren't great.
No, that's what I heard too. I am not going to spend my time even bothering to check.
Yeah, I'm not even interested. Georgia, Spider-Man won, and runner-up was Boy and the Heron. So we definitely have some divergences going on.
Mm-hmm.
Did you
All right.
guys see The Boy and the Heron? I did a review for it. And it was okay.
I have not. Boomer is after me to see it, but
It's-
you know he's hyped on stuff like that.
I guess I just don't get this these crazy fantastical things that these.
Yeah.
Not that I don't like fantasy, but it's just like in all of the movies that I've seen of his where someone stumbles upon this fantasy sort of element and they just take it in stride like it's no big deal. Oh, here's a heron with a face coming out of his beak. Oh, okay. I was like, what? And plus the character designs on some of these things, I just don't like it. What's up with the birds and the flying paper? I don't get the symbolism he's going for.
I
don't
feel like there's a lot that we probably miss that's cultural.
There has to be.
Yeah.
There has to be.
And not only just, you know, Japanese culture, but elements and tropes of anime that
Most likely.
you know, so oftentimes I see stuff like this and I have to look to someone like Boomer and go, huh? And he'll kind of explain it. And, you know, I have a lot of friends that are really into Japanese culture and whatnot who also help me out with stuff like that. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I think it's the same kind of thing. You have to be in the mood for it. I am willing to make that deep dive and look into cultural elements and look into tropes and stuff for a genre I'm not used to. But I got to be ready for it. It can't just be a light watch then, you know.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Lady V
I
says,
saw that comment.
good movie to trip mushrooms to, maybe.
I think probably so if you're into that thing. If you're into that.
All right.
Yes,
Nolan
okay.
got director.
Yeah, I heard about that. That doesn't surprise me. Whatever. I did not nominate him for direct. I nominated. Oh, geez, who the hell did I nominate? Maybe Cord Jefferson. I can't remember.
Cord Jefferson's a good choice. And he's
Yeah,
not being
because-
talked about either, and I think he should be.
I agree. This was his first movie too. So
I'm thinking. So again, sometimes looking at who didn't win is very interesting as well. He beat out Martin Scorsese.
He
who,
did.
Christopher Nolan,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Flower Moon. Okay, yeah.
And you know, I'm hearing Scorsese's taking some hits on that one. So I don't know. I just find that interesting. You know, when a director beats Martin Scorsese, it's like, huh.
I feel like there wasn't as much love for Killers of the Flower Moon as there was for Oppenheimer.
That's absolutely clear. The other thing is, and this is a movie I didn't know about, Maestro, directed by Bradley Cooper.
Yeah. Oh,
And-
you didn't know about that?
I did not, but I tend to really like Bradley Cooper. And I did not know he had, you know, he was getting into the director's seat. But
Oh,
It's
I
like,
think he's been a director.
yeah, I know,
Well,
but I don't usually.
he directed A Star Is Born.
Yeah,
I did not see
Yeah.
that.
I didn't
Um,
either.
but I
Wasn't
tend
bad.
to.
It's pretty good.
But Bradley Cooper does. It seems like flipping everything. He's a singer. He's an actor. He's a director. It's holy cow. Producer. You know.
He's come a long way since Alias. That was when I
Yes.
first recognized him or noticed him as an actor. I started watching Maestro and couldn't make it. I couldn't make it very far into the movie, not because he was doing a bad job or Carey Mulligan was doing a bad job, but I was just bored. I didn't care about Leonard Bernstein or Steen or however the hell you say his name. I didn't care about the romance story between him and his wife. I just didn't care. So I was like, I'm out.
I
Don't
mean,
watch it.
with Bradley Cooper, it's like first one I think of is Limitless. I don't know why, but I just
Oh,
loved
yeah.
Limitless.
It's been a while since I saw
Wasn't
that.
he also in a film about a bank heist?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh gosh.
Maybe?
You know,
I don't-
I'll
Well, the
keep looking it up
A-Team
on-
was kind of a heist film in a way.
Oh, yeah, that was a
True,
fun
but that's
movie.
definitely not the one I was thinking of. That's definitely not the
Okay.
one I was thinking of.
You know,
I'll-
he's
I'll-
been
I'll keep
nominated
looking.
like 9 times for Oscars, and like nobody even knows it because he's getting nominated as as a producer on a lot of these films as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right. Jedi Bill
Oh,
is
yes, The
asking was
Covenant was
Guy
excellent.
Ritchie nom?
No.
The
I
Covenant
don't
was not
think so.
nominated for any awards.
I hate that too because that movie was spectacular and Dar Salim was not nominated for anything and his performance was excellent. So I'm a little salty about that.
Yeah, so am I. It's one of the best movies of the year, hands down.
Oh, that was my number one. I loved it so much.
Yeah. I think Bill would agree with you on that one. All right. Moving on. Emma Stone won
Of
for
course.
Poor Things for a musical comedy.
Okay.
Yeah. And we're
For-
going to be going into Poor Things a little bit more here, and when we get to our next segment.
Yeah, this is what
Um,
I'm really waiting to hear.
Okay, so
Mhm.
I can't really say that I've seen it. I started to watch it, but it was a movie that required more attention than I was giving it when I tried to watch it. So I can't be too commentary on this. But Grace Randolph has some strong opinions about it.
Heard. I heard.
Do you want me to go into that, guys, or did you want to get your say about it first?
I don't know. I feel like Deleted wanted to go through the rest of the
Oh, okay.
winners,
Yeah,
maybe.
and then-
unless I
and then
misunderstood.
we'll-
Okay.
We'll do that, and then we'll jump into.
We'll circle back to
into
this one, huh?
We'll
Okay.
circle back to what Grace Randolph had to say.
Fair enough.
All right. Best actor in a drama, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer.
Heard about that. Well deserved, in my opinion.
Indeed.
Yeah, definitely.
Another actor that has played a good range of characters, and I just feel like we've only seen the tip of the iceberg with this kid. He's got a lot of potential, I think.
He's good in everything. I've never seen him do a
He
bad
is.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah, for what I saw of him, he is actually, I do like him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I thought he did very well what I saw of Oppenheimer.
I think I've liked him since Batman Begins, and then I saw
Yep.
him in 28 Days Later after
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
And it seems like a decent guy too. You know, I've never
Yes,
heard
he
anybody say a
does.
bad word about him.
He doesn't get on-
He's
that. He stays
Nah,
to
he-
himself. He doesn't even know what a meme is, y'all.
yeah.
Good on him, let me say.
I
Yeah.
thought it was funny.
Yeah.
My son and I still quote that line that he said in Batman Begins when Batman sprayed him with the stuff, and he was like saying something like, "Doctor so and so isn't in right now. Would you like to make an appointment?" Because he was like kind of loopy and freaked
Yeah.
out. I love that scene. Yeah, he does seem like a really cool guy. I like him.
Yeah. Alrighty, we're going to move on to best score, and I don't think this is a surprise. Ludwig Göransson, best score for Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I haven't been able to get that music out of my head since I first saw the movie. So
I'm feeling like Oppenheimer's going to take a lot at the Oscars.
And this bloke looks really young. That's
he is,
well.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Moving on to best song, and they gave it to "What Was I Made For" from Barbie, the Billie Eilish song.
Yeah, that one also with the Georgia Film Critics. Runner-up was another Barbie song. I was pulling for "Am I Dreaming" from Spider-Man, which was a song that played in the end credits.
Nice.
But
and Lady V says, with a name like Ludwig, he's got to be great.
Yeah, good point.
Good point.
It's like he's been set up for success since birth, huh?
Mm-hmm. And I think anybody who's been watching my channel knows how I feel about the Barbie film.
Yeah.
So I don't think we need to go
I haven't
too far
had
into that.
any desire to watch that movie.
And Dragon Movie Guy is excited to see you, Sin.
Oh, hey.
Welcome, Dragon Movie Guy.
Hi, Dragon. I'm actually, this is like a simulcast. I'm on Deleted's show, but I'm also streaming it to my channel. So thank you for stopping by.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, and welcome, and enjoy the rest of the show. Lady V is saying, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Lady V.
Same.
I have zero interest, even though, unfortunately, I like most of the people in it. Looks like elements of it are really fun, but I feel like people don't even realize, even people that love Barbie, don't realize how co-opted it was. I think they were just subtle enough, or just playing on just enough misandry to get away with it.
And I've heard people trying to say, oh no, it was the opposite of that. It's anti-woke. But the stuff I've been hearing about it makes me think,
you've got to really
like
do mental gymnastics, especially when you look at the showrun, the director, and
Greta
what
Gerwig.
Yeah. There's no way she was in any way involved in anything that was ever anti-woke.
Yeah. Okay. See, I don't know much about her, like other stuff. So
yeah.
Well, she did Lady Bird. She wrote and directed Lady Bird a few years back,
and
she also did the most recent film adaptation of Little Women.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All
right. And she's I don't know if they're married or not, but she's currently involved with Noah Baumbach, who co-wrote the movie with her, and he did The Squid and the Whale. He did White Noise last year.
Okay.
He was married to Jennifer Jason Leigh at one point. He's one of these. I would seat him in the male feminist section.
There you go.
Okay.
He did that movie Marriage Story with
Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never
and you watch that movie, and you will get inside Bach's head pretty easily.
Yeah.
I said, and I said this on another stream, and I stand by it, is much like Adam Driver's character in that movie, Noah Baumbach is surrounded by a bunch of these little blonde women who keep telling him he's brilliant. And now he believes it.
I would Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would just defy anybody who's trying to make the claim that it was anti-woke. Yeah, you watch Ugly Betty's little rant in that movie and then tell me that this
Yeah.
is supposed to be anti-woke. Just
Yeah,
please.
this is why so Paulie from Latino Slant, it was his out of the theater reaction
Mm-hmm.
that convinced me that I definitely did not want to see it. And then he's got a guest that comes on his channel often, Cameron Pasha, I think
Yeah.
is his name.
Mhm.
And he
Yeah.
had a completely different viewpoint about it. And also John Campea, if I'm saying his name, he tried to do this whole, like, it's anti this and that, he kind of did
Oh,
that
John
whole mental-
Campea? Yeah.
Yeah, Campea. And, but I don't know. I'm just like, I just don't know that I buy this, y'all. I
Nope.
just
Don't.
So,
It's
yeah, and I just wasn't interested to see it.
the only people. I will give some people the benefit of the doubt that they are just trying to be gracious and generous. But I'd say the vast majority of people that are saying it's anti-woke are bending over backwards just because they're just running cover.
Yeah.
It's no.
Now I got sent the link for Barbie. I'll be in full full disclosure. I did not see it in theaters.
Okay.
I was sent the link, and the reason why I made the point to see it was because I was getting into so many conversations about it on other
Yeah.
channels, and I was people on my own channel were asking me during shows, so I thought I cannot properly speak out on it unless I've seen it.
Sure.
So I gave it a chance. I did my due diligence, and I got to be honest, there's a good portion of the movie where I was with it.
Yeah, I heard the beginning is pretty good.
Yeah.
The beginning is pretty good. The production design is fantastic. I think it's probably going to win. All the money for the production budget is up on the screen. And then America Ferrera gets that 4-minute friggin' speech at the 75-minute mark of that film. And like I said to Sin, it's these movies that lose me at the 75-minute mark, and Barbie was one of them. And it never got me back.
Yeah, I have the screener, and they sent me the screenplay, and I haven't watched it.
Hmm.
Like, if I was gonna watch it, if I was curious to watch it, by now I would have gone to see it on the big screen when it came out.
Yeah. But anyway, it won tonight for the Billie Eilish song. The music in it is one of the things that's not bad. I'm fine. I'm fine with the production design. The music is fine. The actors themselves are very good. I just, it's one of those movies where they say it wasn't made for me, but not in that. Well, we didn't make it for you. I am not the target audience for this movie, so I don't think I was going to like it regardless. All right, moving on real quick here to the next category. This is the most BS category I've ever seen in my life in any award show. Cinematic and box office achievement. What the hell is that?
Yeah, that's a new one. And I think they did that so that Barbie could win. That's what I think.
I think so too.
And there's your sign.
Yeah, there's your sign exactly.
I mean, if they had this doggone category last year, Top Gun Maverick would have won. They didn't even nominate that movie for best cinematography, which is I cannot fathom. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, that's my little rant.
All right. Moving on. Now I know some people on your during your show were happy to hear this, Troy. Paul Giamatti winning
Yep.
Best Actor for Holdovers.
Yeah, I'm
And,
really going to end up having to see this movie now that I've heard more about it.
Yeah,
yeah,
I like him anyway.
I do too.
I do too. Yeah.
And the
Um,
movie just looks like a cozy,
Yeah.
sweet, uplifting, touching type of. I don't know. I may be wrong. I might watch it and hate it, but I just have this
Well,
good feeling about it.
And again, this is why it just and based on what I read the film was about, it sounds a little Good Will Hunting-ish, and that's not a bad thing. Also, man, we were just talking about actors that their range is just awesome. They could play, everything from lovable father figure to, evil villain and everything in between. That's Paul Giamatti. He's also got a pretty good singing voice. So,
hmm
I like
And
the
now
way he
I
played
think
Harvey
it's gonna.
Keitel.
Oh yeah, American Splendor. Yeah, good movie. Good
Yeah.
movie. He should have been nominated for that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Exactly.
I forgot about that, actually. You're right.
Yeah. So now it's a horse race between him and Cillian Murphy for the Oscar. I think it's going to go to Giamatti though because he's been around for so long, and he's past due. He's past due.
I feel like groupthink and bandwagon mentality is probably going to give it to Killian, but I guess we'll see.
We'll see.
It sounds cynical, but I think she's right. And I didn't mean to make a pun there.
I didn't even catch that till you said that.
Yeah, Lady V says, I feel like he's been struggling for recognition for a while. Indeed. Yeah, he deserves it for this. All right. Next
He was
category.
the best thing about the Ape movie he was in.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
All right. And Best Picture Musical Comedy, Poor Things.
Yep.
All right.
Although I'm still struggling with the category of musical comedy. Was it either? I mean,
I think that they are considering it a comedy.
Yeah, seems like.
Yeah.
That's a stretch, but okay, I guess. I guess they don't have a particular category for weird avant-garde film.
Yeah. I knew right away I was not interested in that movie. As soon as I saw the trailer, nope. And then the more I heard about it, the more I was glad. I didn't know it was supposed to be as raunchy as it ended up being, and I feel like that was I might be wrong, but it feels like that was the sole focus, and that just did not.
And again, I wasn't watching it real close, but I mean, there were some gross scenes. There certainly was some uncomfortable scenes, but I didn't see it. I didn't see anything that I would have considered raunchy. I think it's just talk because Emma Stone's got nude scenes or whatever. I mean, okay, whatever. But then again, like I said, I was not even looking at the screen through about half the thing, so I got to go back and actually watch it.
I heard there was quite a bit.
Yeah.
It just feels like the focus was like on her sexual liberation or whatever, and her, I don't know, just also feel like it was a movie trying to make some sort of statement, woman's liberation type of stuff.
And the reason I did want to see it in the first place was because I heard it was an interesting, unique take on the Frankenstein story.
Right, that's what it seems to be.
And
on the surface.
And yeah, so I definitely have. And then, of course, the opening scenes in the Victorian, surgical theater and everything. I'm like, okay, I gotta see this movie, but I gotta see it when I can actually pay attention to it. So maybe I'll come back with a whole different opinion about it.
Okay. So next category, Best Actress in a Drama, and went to Lily Gladstone for Killers of a Flower Moon.
Okay.
Again, she's been cleaning up in this category into critics groups. I don't know how she did in the Georgia race.
I think I want to
But,
say so. This is Best Actress. I think she won.
Yeah.
Let me just check. Yeah, she did. And runner-up was Emma Stone.
So again, we have another. I think we have another horse race. The Oscars, it could be. I think either or could end up taking it.
Now, I will say this about Emma Stone. I didn't really see anything from what I saw of her portrayal that I was like, oh, this is great acting. This is, so, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
All right. So, Sin, did you get to Killers of the Flower Moon or?
No, I had no interest in watching a 3.5-hour long movie by Martin Scorsese. He's not my favorite director, so I don't gravitate towards his stuff. I have seen some of his things that I do like, but I would rather watch a documentary about these events than watch this movie.
Yeah. Or even better yet, folks, read the book.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better off.
That's almost always true, yes.
All right. And of course, Best Picture drama with Oppenheimer.
Naturally.
Yeah.
I think we've got
So
indications of what's going to happen at the Oscars here.
Mm-hmm. And Oppenheimer got 5 awards altogether, which was the most in the film categories. And I think in the television category, between The Bear and Beef, I think they pretty much tied for the most too. So, all right.
Okay.
So that was the Golden Globes. Now, this evening, before we went on, Troy informed me that our pal Grace Randolph has apparently made some statements concerning the Poor Things. So, Troy, do you want to
sure? So
take the lead on this one?
You bet. I'm looking at her post right now. This was I don't know how to read tweets to see when she put this up. It was a while ago. A couple hours ago. Poor Things won Best Picture Comedy Musical. While clearly some people really like this film, some people, like myself, find it very offensive. However, fans of the film are so aggressive, we can't even really have an honest discussion about it. I have a problem with an infant's brain in an adult body engaging in adult activities. A man having sex with a coworker while his underage son watches and take notes. And then, separate quote, "Oh, you're such a prude." I don't know if she's saying people are calling her a prude. I don't know.
They probably are, because anytime someone, says they don't really care for too much of that stuff, that word will often get thrown around.
True. So let's take that for just a moment. I get that far into it, and I'm like, well, then it sounds like you're the one who, wants to not have an honest discussion about these things. Because if you are basically implying these subject matters should never be covered in a film or any piece of art, it makes it really difficult to have that conversation, doesn't it? I can't believe some of you are arguing that Bella's brain is mature enough to engage and give consent, but not mature enough to be able to make good decisions. Which is it? You can't have it both ways. I'm not sure exactly what she's referring to, but yeah, I get you're right. You can't have it both ways.
Did she even watch or review Sound of Freedom?
See, and that was the thing that was in the back of my mind. So that movie should never exist, so that we don't ever get to have this conversation.
I think she completely ignored that movie, y'all. I don't remember her doing any review on it at all.
Exactly. And, she did have some comments about it
Okay.
where she jumped on the whole narrative about conspiracy theories and blah blah blah. And this
I
and
have a
that.
vague memory of that.
So, so what I'm getting at here with this is, and I was saying this to Deleted Scenes before, I think before you joined us in the green room. How do you deal with a topic like this in a film? This is an interesting way to do it, because yes, the subject matter is a bit icky, but pull back, look what it's Emma Stone. Emma Stone's a big girl. She can make decisions for herself. She decided whether or not to take this role. She decided whether or not she would be clothed or unclothed. She has full consent here. She is an adult woman pretending to be somebody who has a child's mind. Okay? Which gives us the opportunity to have these discussions. And fine. I am willing to say, yes, that's wrong and it's icky and this character can't give consent, and so forth. I think it's still worth looking at. I made the comparison to the opposite problem you have is Kirsten Dunst in Interview with a Vampire, where you have an adult mind clearly able to consent and stuff in the body of a child,
Right.
played by an actress who really should not
Was a
be
child, yeah.
in the scenes that are depicted in the book. So you can never actually depict those scenes. I say with a little asterisk because I see in 10 to 15 years the ability to remake that movie with an adult actress CG'd as a child. So, ew. But again, so we could revisit that conversation if that ever happens. But yeah, who's trying to shut down the conversation here, Grace, is what I'm kind of getting at here.
Well, she also did not agree that the movie The Hunt should have ever been made.
Help me out, remind me about The Hunt.
The Hunt was that political movie that they didn't release for a while because of public pressure. Okay, it was so there were misconceptions about it. People were thinking that The Hunt was basically oh gosh, how was it being presented? It was basically about these rich leftists that were rounding up the deplorables,
Right.
i.e. right-wing voters.
I think I remember this, yeah.
Yeah, and they were basically playing the most dangerous game with them. And she
Right.
was acting like it was the worst thing ever, and she didn't feel like it was something. I was like, have you never seen The Most Dangerous Game? That's
Right.
This is basically
This is
what
not
it
something
is.
new. It's just
No.
it's just bringing
And
it into
so she went on this weird tangent about, okay, maybe I can understand and appreciate the sentiment behind it, but this movie, I think she had the idea that this movie was condoning that activity, and it was not. It was these rich lefties were bad guys, and it was not shown as okay in any way what they were doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
again, that seems to be her MO of, I don't like this because it makes me uncomfortable, therefore it probably shouldn't exist, but then gets upset that we can't have a conversation about it. Well, if you had your way, we'd never even have the topic to talk about.
right.
And I think as we've looked at the length and breadth of the films and TV and streaming shows or whatever that we've talked about tonight, you have a range from just, fun movies to interesting to this is kind of hard. You got to be in the right mood, and it's a bit of a thinker, and it causes you to deal with some things. That's what art is supposed to be. And if it's not for you, Grace, fine. But then maybe you shouldn't have a comment about it. All four of us have basically said, well, you know what? I didn't see it. I really shouldn't, express too much of an opinion about it. Right? Because we're intellectually honest. Oh, heaven forbid that even exists anymore in this
Well, I
world.
mean, I'll have an opinion about it. I didn't see it because I wasn't interested. The subject matter did nothing for me, and I thought it looked ridiculous. That's my opinion.
Well, yeah.
And Barbie, same thing. I didn't see it because I had heard enough about it to make me determine that I was not interested to watch it. But as far as like any sort of in-depth analysis or review,
Yeah.
obviously I can't do that because I didn't see it. Did she even watch Poor Things?
That's a good point. I honestly, from reading her comments, I'm not sure if she did or not. And you know I don't follow her channel, so...
Yeah, I haven't. You know, I used to watch her videos all the time. She was one of my inspirations for starting what I did. Yeah,
okay.
she was, because she made me so excited about watching movies, and Chris Stuckman too. I get excited watching people talk about movies because I love to talk about them myself. I love the stories. And so, also, interestingly enough, she and my brother worked on a project, an art project, a comic, like a manga type of project together. Like, they didn't work on the same story, but it was like one story within a book.
Sure.
And they both were, anyway, so I thought that was kind of cool. And one day on Twitter, I noticed she had blocked me. I was blocked.
Huh.
And I was like, well, that's weird, because I've never had testy words with her at all.
Yeah.
And so I emailed her, and I'm like, this is weird. You know, I like to watch, I like to follow your Twitter feed because, you know, the news that she brings and stuff. And, you know, I enjoyed it. And she's like, oh, well, that's, I have my channel set up. Like, did you post any links to your own videos or what? Because I guess she has, like, some sort of bot or whatever that watches for stuff. And it's like, no, I haven't done. She said, I'll be happy to unblock you. So she unblocked me. And then a while later, she got in the hot seat for some stuff. She's been in the hot seat a lot.
Yes,
anyway,
she has.
She got in the hot seat for something, and people were just dogpiling on her, right? But I wasn't even involved in that. I just heard of it, and I'm like, oh, wow. So I went to her feed to see, like, what if she had any responses to these things, and she had blocked me again. So, and I wrote her back, and I you know, like, brought that up, and the only thing, she never wrote me back, she never unblocked me, so the only thing that I can think is somehow her bots can tell if I follow certain people that give her a hard time, and so by association, she blocks everybody associated with them.
I have been hearing that from a lot of people, Tom Connors and a lot of others who have said they get blocked because a lot of these people do these group blocks. If you are associated with this person I don't like, you're blocked from me. And it's like, if you're a public figure, that's not a smart thing to be doing.
Yeah.
If you're going to bother to be a blue wrench, or not
blue
blue wrench,
group
blue
blocking
check mark,
thing,
you really should.
I can understand if someone's being an absolute asshole to you, and you can. I take advantage of the hide user from channel feature quite often on YouTube. When you can tell someone's just not there just to even give constructive criticism, you can tell from the very first post they just want to be assholey. And I have decided I'm exposed to enough of that already in other forms on social media. I don't want my channel to be this big, huge fight fest in the comments, because other people might want to get involved too. You know, so I can get pretty heavy with the, you know, hide user from channel.
I have encouraged a lot, and I'm starting to hear some bigger YouTubers say the same thing. I encourage people to try not to. Live streams is a different thing. Absolutely, I hear you. But if you're getting nasty comments in the comments, let them be. Let them be, because sometimes you get some people in there that start arguing and poking back, and it becomes this big back and forth. That's great engagement for your video.
Well, okay, yeah, that's actually a good. That's a good point. I wasn't thinking. My thought was, I don't want my channel to turn into this, you know, like the comment section to turn into this nasty battleground.
Yeah.
And
will,
you know, that was the main reason why.
And this is why I engage the trolls on channels in the comment section of YouTubers I like, specifically because I know all you gotta do is just say another comment, and they'll come back, and they'll come back, and they'll come back. And the algorithm's just like, wow, people are really talking about this one.
Okay, maybe I'll leave them be from now on. I just won't engage if I don't feel like it.
Yeah, you don't have to be the one that engages. Let us do it.
Okay. All right, that's a thought. Thank you for that.
And Lady V says, yeah, trolls can be fun sometimes, yeah. But
I wasn't. I was brain farting on that. Didn't even consider that.
Yeah, trolls can be fun sometimes. Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. And I'll tell you, and here's the other thing that I've also said to people, and actually I'm saying this as much to myself as anyone else. If you're going to engage with, in some sort of opposed conversation on social media, what is your purpose? If you're doing it to try and change someone's opinion, and they're that kind of a troll, you're wasting your time. What you're oftentimes really doing is engaging in this conversation for everyone who's going to read it later on.
Yeah.
You know,
True.
you're demonstrating, and they will see, okay, you know what you're talking about, and this person's a blithering idiot. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it's more humorous, but there's always a line. Yeah, and that line is different for everyone. There does come a point where you have to disengage and just go, I'm done. You know.
Hi, Sashi.
Oh, it's afternoon
hey.
there, yeah.
He's 12 hours ahead of us.
Yep. Yep. It's lunchtime there.
Good to see you. I'll be live streaming
Where's
again
Sashi?
tomorrow night, by the way, just to let you
go.
know.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So if I take nothing else away from tonight, I'm going to be watching that Emma Stone movie because now I feel like I have to.
Okay, you're curious. All right. Well, I am curious to hear your thoughts.
I may come away with it going, gosh, that was just terrible.
You see, that I felt that way about Saltburn. I was like, I should have not.
I had only ever heard of Saltburn because of you.
So I had heard of Saltburn, and then one of my really good YouTube buddies, D Movie Man, he did an out of the theater reaction, and just his reaction, because they're like, okay, so he and I have very similar taste in movies, and his reaction was funny to me, and I could tell he was very off-put and grossed out. So I'm like, oh gosh, and a lot of people were talking about it. So I was thinking, well, I should see it just to, see what the hubbub is, and I can weigh in. And I was interested. At first, I thought it was just supposed to be like this gay romance between these guys. And I'm like, I don't like romance stories. I don't care. Like, this is why I quit watching the Bernstein, the Maestro movie. I just don't care. And then I heard, no, there were other elements. And so I was like, okay, this might interest me. But I watched it, and it was so gross. There was some really nasty, cringe, gross stuff in there. Yeah, I've told you already, I think.
Jason Fox is saying, oof, Saltburn was oof, never again.
Right. I saw way too much of that actor than I cared to see. Sorry, go ahead.
Between what you said about it, and then I went to I don't remember if it was like Wikipedia or something that has like a description.
So you read, okay.
And I read through it, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, I will not be watching this movie.
Honestly, it felt like, and also, well, it felt like she put that stuff in there for shock value.
Yeah,
and,
which is not helpful.
That was annoying, and maybe I don't think I would have liked the movie anymore. Like, okay, yeah, maybe that would have made that part, the viewing part of it, a little better. I still don't think I would have liked the movie because I didn't like the characters, and I now have sworn off that director. I'm not going to watch her stuff ever again because I hated Promising Young Woman, and I hated Saltburn.
Well, I think, two points make a line. If you didn't like two movies by that particular creator, then you're probably not gonna, like.
Yeah, because this is her
work.
Style. This is what she likes. This is her thing, and so I don't like her thing.
That's not brilliant and creative. That's just juvenile, gross out.
I don't know. It's just, she's talented as a director. You can tell, it's quality directing. Technical stuff is fine, but Lord have mercy. Come on. We don't need to see this. It was just nasty. It was just nasty.
Yeah. So that's another one of those examples of I heard it from you and you saved me.
And I'll bet what you read didn't even cover all of the different scenes.
Oh, I'm sure it doesn't. I'm
like
sure
3 or 4 really.
Yeah, I'm sure that the basic description does not cover, how bad it probably is in, reality in the film.
It was gross. I used to work high-end retail, some rich people into some crazy stuff. Yeah, it made my skin crawl. Yeah. Well, the rich people in here, they weren't necessarily the problem.
Mm-hmm.
It was that dude. He was the one that was doing some really great, gross, nasty stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Jason says that one scene with the grave was improvised also.
Oh, are
I
you
assume
serious?
this is.
That was improvised?
Mm.
Why? So that part with the grave made no sense. Number one, it made no sense, and that was the one I was referring to when I said in my review, I hope he was wearing a sock. And if you see that scene, you will know what the hell I'm talking about, because it was like, oh. I just think about things. Ugh. What?
Do I want to know?
I can tell you if you want.
Yeah,
This
spoil
is
the
just
hell
a
out
little
of this
bit-
thing. Go
okay.
ahead.
All right. So, he's at this graveside of this guy who was his friend that brought him to Saltburn. Felix, I think, was the guy's name. Was it Felix? I can't remember. Whatever. It was a guy, his friend, who brought him to Saltburn, and he's at the grave and he's crying and mourning the loss. He's by himself. And he lies on top of the grave, you know, the fresh dirt, and he's crying and crying. Oh. It's like, oh, okay. And then he reaches into his underwear and his pants and starts to masturbate. And then he gets up on his knees and he pulls his pants down and he starts to do it with the dirt.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so disgusting. That was improvised. Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Oh,
it was just,
gosh.
yeah. And that was just one. There were two other scenes that were seriously off-putting. Like, really, there was a third scene that was gross, but it was like, you never saw anything, you just knew what was happening, and it was like, okay, this is like the kind of cringe, I don't really want to see this, but there were two other scenes that were really nasty. I can tell you those too if you want.
Well, I read about the bathwater, and I
That was gross.
Yeah.
that was
That was
early
the first
on,
one.
and I didn't even want to finish reading the Wikipedia
That
article
was
after
the first
that.
one, and that was just like, this is, what the heck? That was when it was like, I was with the movie until that happened, and I'm like, what? He had already watched the guy, you know, mess
Yeah.
with himself before he'd been watching him. Then he got the bathwater thing, and then the other thing, the other really good, like all this bodily fluid stuff, y'all. Then the other thing, he's messing with the sister of his friend who brought him to Saltburn. The sister happens to be on her cycle, and he's got his hands, you know, in a certain area, and he comes up and it's
Right.
covered with
Yeah,
her.
he's caught red-handed. We get it.
Yeah. And he like rubs it on her face,
Oh,
you know, and then they kiss or something like that, and then he goes down on her while she, you know, it's
Hey, dude.
you know, it's just like it was. Yeah. So
Oh,
this is the kind of
yeah.
stuff that's like, this is shock factor only. You did not have to put this level of debauchery in here to let us know the type of character he was. That was completely unnecessary. So yeah, that was when the movie lost me, when all those things were happening. And then at the end, he has this long dance, and he's nude, and we see very clearly all his anatomy. Which that was, compared to the other stuff, that was like the least of it.
I guess, yeah.
I was like, that's tame comparison to this other stuff.
That's yeah.
Okay.
Oh
Yeah,
my
this
God.
is it's Saltburn we're talking about,
Saltburn.
Bill.
Yeah, y'all-
I don't think
We're
that one's going
telling
to
you
be up
so
your
you-
alley at all.
We're telling you so you can avoid the film.
No,
Y'all- yeah, and my friend D, when I posted a review about it,
like the
he was
plague.
like, he was like, "No, Sin, why did you see this? I thought for sure you weren't gonna watch it." You know, like after his own experience. But you should go check out his short for Saltburn, D Movie Man. Just his reaction, which is, it was
See,
funny.
I don't usually do. I don't think I think I've done like one or two movie reviews on my channel, but I feel like if I was a movie review channel, I would start the video out with those like white contact lenses and say, "Well, I saw this Saltburn.
My eyes burned.
Yeah, this is what I did afterwards."
Wash your eyes out with bleach.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, so she.
Something.
Oh, was she? Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, you know,
I'm not a fan.
and Jason Fox, I know he's got a high threshold. So the fact that he's on board with us here, that tells you something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think we
that's-
told. I think everyone from this stream alone knows. Yeah, no.
Definitely don't watch it with kids if you decide to watch it.
Go
Don't
watch
watch it
Ouija
with-
Shark instead.
Don't watch it with your folks if you decide to watch it.
Oh gosh. Yeah,
You know,
there's
this
a
is-
lot of films that you don't want to watch with your parents.
No.
No. You see, the one thing that was weird was I went to the theaters and I saw The Black Phone.
Oh yeah.
The Black Phone.
I
And
love that movie
with
actually.
Ethan Hawke. It's a
enjoyed
very good movie.
Yeah.
I liked it. And I was surprised by how many parents took their kids to that movie.
Yeah. Well, wasn't it PG-13?
No, that was a straight up R.
The Black Phone?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. I took my nephew to it,
Nah.
Oh.
but he loves horror. So,
Yeah.
and he was a teenager. But yeah.
I think a teenager is fine for that movie, but like I'm talking like 5 and 6 year olds.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
That's a bit
To a movie that's about, you know, child
Children.
abduction and
Yeah,
murder.
yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah. No, I wouldn't have brought a child that young.
no.
No.
Sequels in development
That's a little too young
for
for
release
that
in
movie.
2025.
I heard.
Yeah.
I heard.
I don't know what the story's going to be, but unless they do it as a prequel, the ending was pretty, without spoiling it, the ending was pretty cut and dried, I thought, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It-
really enjoyed the little girl's acting
Yeah.
in there. She was fantastic.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the kids were good.
Sister. Oh, okay. So
Hill said-
so you looked her up. Okay.
Hill said his inspiration to writing a sequel was based on the iconic imagery of the Grabber's mask, which I've seen the poster. I can see that.
Oh, so Hill himself has written the sequel.
Yeah.
I listened to the short story after I saw the movie, and the movie's better because it was just a short, just like Silver Bullet was
Yeah.
better than the short story it was based on.
Mm.
All right.
Oh, this is interesting. In October 2023, Dickerson revealed that the segment he co-wrote with C. Robert Cargill for VHS 85, titled Dream Kill, is a follow-up connected to Black Phone. The filmmaker explained the short film takes place 7 years after the feature film and includes Gunther, who is the cousin of Gwen. I don't know these character names, but
I'm not remembering either.
yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm going to have to check out this Black Phone now.
Oh,
It's very good. It's very good. It's Ethan Hawke cast very much against type.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I
That
get
mask
that.
was creepy. That mask was
Yeah.
creepy. Creepy.
Jason says there's something in the barn is a good horror movie based on Xmas in Norway. It's an American
I've
family
heard
moving to
about
Norway.
this.
It's a fun. So have I. Yeah, I've been hearing
I think
some
Lisa
interesting
Lowe's
things.
I'm going to put that in my letterbox right now while I'm thinking about it.
Cool.
There's something in the barn. It's called.
Many moms did take kids to that movie in Norway and did think it was a kids movie.
Oh.
Mm. Yeah, whoops.
Right.
And I do feel like there's plenty of information about movies out there. You should kind of
There
pay
is, but
attention,
people
you know.
don't always.
They sure
They
don't.
don't
Yeah.
always think to check.
And Bill is recommending the Terrifier films.
I've seen the first one. I'm not crazy about the Terrifier films.
It's not bad.
It was definitely plenty gory, and a scene in there that was inspired by the scene in Blood Tomahawk. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of slasher horrors where the antagonist is basically immortal and you can't kill him.
Yeah.
Now, I say that as a huge fan of Halloween, but I still, in my brain, I view Michael Myers as a human, which is why I always wanted him to be killed or defeated. But I did not like the way David Gordon Green handled all of that in Halloween Kills and Ends. Because David Gordon Green himself said Michael was human, but in Kills and Ends, or especially Kills, you would never know it. The stuff that he jumped up.
Yeah.
This was the problem with the later Halloween movies for me, too. You know, where he burns, he's burned, he gets shot in the face in Halloween 2, and yet he comes back again in Halloween 4. You know, I watch them all anyway, but I don't like those aspects of those.
They have to decide, you know, and not just with Michael Myers, but with all of these seemingly immortal killer characters. They have to decide, are these characters human or are they forces of nature?
Right.
Now, there was one interesting theory surrounding Jason Voorhees, where somebody said, "Well, Jason's a Deadite from like Evil Dead." You know, like that's an interesting theory. The first couple of movies wouldn't necessarily go into that direction, but here's the thing. When it comes to the Friday the 13th movies, there's really no continuity to any of those movies at all once you look at it.
Yeah.
And the fact that Jason is even alive in part 2 negates his mother's entire motive for doing the murders in the first movie. Because the whole reason she did it was because he died.
Right.
And it's her taking her revenge. If he's alive, that kills your whole motive.
Yeah.
Sashi says the next Star Wars film may turn out to be a horror. Yeah, they did that. It was called Rebel Moon.
I haven't finished watching it. I started watching it, but I haven't finished. Yeah,
are you still are you still 15 minutes in?
Yeah, I'm still 15 minutes in. I haven't returned to it. There's stuff I haven't returned. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am so behind on some stuff. I get easily distracted by other things. And I'm going to go see a couple movies. I'm seeing the Mystery Movie Monday. I'm seeing a screening of some sort of movie that looks like a Mr. and Mrs. Smith type of thing, but it's not Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And then I'm going to go see The Beekeeper. So,
oh yeah,
and I just recently watched the first 3 episodes of Echo. Oh god.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I can't.
So is that something you'd like to talk about right now, or you don't? No. Okay. We'll wait.
I can't give like full-on reviews yet because the review embargo lasts until the day of release.
Oh, okay. All right.
Which doesn't that tell you something?
Yeah, it should.
That says a lot. And so I had words about this. Okay, I'll just sum it up by saying this is a reaction. I can give social media reaction, but I'm not going to give a review. I hated it. Yeah, I did not. I just don't like the character of Echo. She was, I don't give a crap about her, and I didn't like Hawkeye, which is where she was introduced. And then they decide to do this whole spin-off series around Echo, and we all know why they did it, okay? But the thing is, she's not an interesting enough character, so they have to link Daredevil in, because that's going to be the draw for people, is Daredevil.
Now, I do want to I do want to bring up something in the chat because I do know that Jason, because I saw his Twitter post on it, that he did like Rebel Moon, and that's fine. I understand there are people out there who do enjoy that movie, and and the reason why I chose to again on my own to see it was for two reasons. Well, really three. One, I had reviewed the trailer, so I kind of felt like I had to go through and review the film. Two was the same reason I watched Barbie, was I didn't feel comfortable engaging in conversation about it unless I'd seen it.
Right.
And number three was because normally it's the kind of movie I would like. I like the idea of getting this disparate group of people together to go on a mission. Seven Samurai, Rogue One, Battle Beyond the Stars is a movie that keeps getting brought up in regards to Rebel Moon. But at the same time, to me, that was the problem with it, was that it was just, again, to me, pieces of other movies taken whole cloth and just it was like a greatest hits of other movies. It's Star Wars, it's Battle Beyond the Stars, it's Inglourious Bastards, it's Seven Samurai, it's Warhammer.
It is. I thought it was supposed to be a Star Wars movie, though. Is it a Star Wars movie, or is it something totally separate from Star Wars?
It was originally intended to be a Star Wars movie. It was pitched as a Star Wars. It was going to be this gritty R-rated Star Wars movie, so which is perfectly fine. It was intended to me, but it is not. No, it is not connected.
Okay.
It was pitched to Lucasfilm. They turned it down.
I always had this connection in my brain. I always thought that is what it was. But okay, I'm wrong about that. Okay.
And for me, it didn't work. And the other problem that I have with it is now that we're being told that there's actually an R-rated cut of it that is an hour longer and is quote unquote a different movie. Well, great. Now we're in a Snyder Cut situation again.
Yeah.
And I am not going through that. You can do this one of two ways. You can just release the movie that you wanted to make. You could do it as a series, which it probably should be anyway. Otherwise, it's just a 2 hour and 14-minute trailer. That's what it is. It's a 2 hour long trailer, in my opinion. But again, as I say with all of my reviews, if you disagree, great. Jason saw something in it that he enjoyed. If he got some enjoyment out of it, that's perfectly fine. That's great. You saw it, you liked it. I know Jason is very genuine, in his opinions.
There's some people that really did enjoy it.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I'm just saying it didn't land with me. So, and I say that with every movie, if I liked Oppenheimer, if you didn't, fine. You and I freaking hated, It's a Wonderful Knife. But if there's somebody out there who liked it, okay, fine. Because, it is subjective. It is, one's opinion.
Yeah, it is. The entire. I know. Same here. It's
Yeah.
almost 2 a.m.
Yeah,
here.
and we're going to wrap it up here very shortly. The
Night,
chat
Lady
is
V.
getting somewhat ahead of us. And good night, Lady V. All right. Sashi is about to make a point that I want to make. This is why don't they just release both side by side and let people choose what
Yeah.
they want? Yes.
I wish they would do
You know.
that. I would
Mhm.
watch the longer cut. I like
Yeah.
a lot of
Hope
Snyder's
they do.
stuff. Yeah.
Especially when things come out on DVD, I am a big proponent of multiple options on home media if you don't want to release it that way.
Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday was not a Friday the 13th movie, to be honest, because the director did not really want to make a normal Friday the 13th
Oh.
movie because he wanted to make Evil Dead. That is
Oh.
closer to an Evil Dead film, really, than your average Friday the 13th. I agree. That's mostly why it became the way it did. Yeah. Sashi says, but Echo's diverse and disabled. She ticks all the boxes and sees a woman. Yeah.
She does. That's the only reason that dumb show was made, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe some people will like it. I'm definitely not one of them. I'm not even going to finish the series.
Mm-hmm.
They sent us only the first 3 episodes, and I think there's 5 total. I have zero desire to see how it ends. I just don't care.
And everybody, please check out Jason's live stream about Rebel Moon, where he laid down all the reasons why why it worked for him. So, in deference to equal time, give Jason's video a chance, and you get his review.
I've actually stayed away from reviews. I was gonna do that after I watch the movie. If I ever get around to watching the movie. To finishing it.
Indeed. All right. Well, it is getting late, and I think this show's been of pretty good length. So I'm going to go ahead and indeed, going to go ahead and wrap it up. We're going to go around the horn. Sin, what do you have coming up?
Well, obviously tomorrow I've got the live
Tomorrow?
stream with you about
Right.
the Mystery Movie Monday. If I like that movie enough, I'll either do a full-on review or I'll do like a little audio short or something. And then the next day, I'm hoping to have my review for Echo going up. And those are the immediate things that are happening.
All right. Connie, anything coming up for your channel?
Hopefully a live feed next week sometime. It'll probably be a short one. Thank you. How about you?
Okay, I was going to go to try next, but about me.
Troy.
Yeah, Troy. What do you got
Okay.
coming up?
Well, it could have gone either way because Tuesday you and I are going to be together on your channel for Sparkwood and 21 deep dive on the next episode of season 2 of Twin Peaks. And I keep telling people, if you ever had an interest in Twin Peaks and didn't get into it, this is a great jumping on point because we can guide you through the very weird world of David Lynch and Mark Frost. But if you are, especially if you are already a big fan of Twin Peaks, you gotta come join us. This is a great journey. That's Tuesday. And then, of course, Thursday, Netters Network, where Sin's going to be on with us in a couple weeks.
Yep. Oh, I was going to say, not this Thursday.
No, not this Thursday, but in a couple weeks.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
But definitely be subscribed.
January 25th.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's the 25th. But definitely be subscribed to Netters Network, because if not Sin, it'll be another great YouTuber that we'll be talking to. And every Friday on my channel, Last Call. I'm the guy at the end of the bar. We'll get together for drinks and chat. This particular week, we're going to be continuing the conversation that Deleted Scenes started tonight with Unscripted, and we're going to talk about it's okay to walk away sometimes from franchises when they have outlived,
Sashi.
your expectations and stuff.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yep.
For sure.
There you go.
And Bill dropping the link for Jace's channel.
Yes.
Alrighty, so that gets back around to me. Tomorrow night, Sin and I, Mystery Movie Monday. Tuesday with Troy Netter and Boomer, live from Sparkwood 21. Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, I am going to be the guest on Pop Talk with Pacific 414. My first appearance on that program, so I'm looking forward to it. And Thursday, I'll be joining Jedi Bill for Action Theater, and we are going to be watching Cliffhanger from 1993 with Sylvester Stallone. Die Hard on a Mount. So check that out. All right. And well, I think that pretty much wraps it up for the panel. I want to thank everybody in the chat. Shashi, Jason, Bill. Let's see. Lady V Elements. I think Dulce Marist dropped by here earlier.
Did he? I totally missed him.
Let me scroll up. Or that might have been on my show earlier. But anyway, Dulce Marist, doesn't matter wherever you are. Thank you. All right. Wow, the chat was really jumping. Dragon Movie Guy. This is my first time seeing him in the chat.
Yeah, he's
someone
that I've kind of I've interacted with a few times.
Right on. Well, I hope you enjoyed the show. Hit the like and all that good stuff. We were simulcasting on Sin's channel and also on her Rumble. So if anybody's watching on Rumble and on Sin's channel, thank you for being here. And anybody who might have been watching on my Twitter feed, thank you as well. And of course, everybody who watches the replay, because people don't always get a chance to watch live. And of course, there's always a lurker or two in the background. Perfectly fine. You do not have to engage with the chat, just as long as you enjoyed the show. That's the
hope.
That's all. That's all I care about. Enjoy the show. Please come back. Watch the show, please. I like my channel. I like my shows. Please like my show. All right. All right. All right. I'm getting punchy. It's like, all right.
It is like, yeah. Yep.
Troy, Nederson, Connie, thank you for being here. Thank you to, once again, to everybody in the chat. All right. I am going to go ahead and wrap it up. Any final words, ladies and gentlemen?
Nope. Thanks so much for having us.
I feel like I am talked out.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for having me. This was fun.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Definitely interesting.
Indeed. All right. That was this week's edition of The Other Side of Midnight. We will return next week. Please subscribe to all of these fine channels. And subscribe to one another because, as PJ of Orville Nation says, we grow together. And Dulcimerist is here. He made it. Good evening, Dulcimerist.
Yay.
Thank you, Jason. Let's go!
Oh.
From HQ and all points north, south, east, and west. Good night. Take care. Stay strong, because this is how we win. Good night.